The history and migration of the Hmong people. The Hmong people, historically referred to as the Miao or Mio, are estimated to have a population of over 12 million worldwide, with the majority residing in China. The rest are scattered across northern Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, and Myanmar. Around 80,000 Hmong people have resettled in the United States. To understand why the Hmong are spread across different regions, let's take a journey through history. In ancient China, the Miao people were classified into two groups, the Shu, civilized, and the Sheng, wild. The civilized Miao were those who had assimilated into Han Chinese culture, while the wild Miao remained isolated in the forests, beyond government control. In the 17th century, Western missionaries who encountered the wild Miao in Sichuan and Yunnan were surprised to note that some had features not typically associated with East Asians, including light brown or platinum blonde hair and even blue eyes. It has been speculated that this unique appearance might have contributed to their designation as Miao, a term that sounds similar to Mio, cat in Chinese. However, due to centuries of assimilation with local populations, individuals with such features became increasingly rare. This observation prompted Western missionaries to investigate the origins of the Hmong people further. However, Chinese historical records seem to deliberately obscure the history of this ethnic group, much like how the origins of the Vietnamese people were vaguely recorded. Even Chinese historians acknowledge that the Hmong were the first adversaries of the Han Chinese, as they frequently clashed with Chinese dynasties from the earliest times until the fall of the Qing dynasty. One of the earliest comprehensive books about the Hmong people was Histoire de Miao, The History of the Miao, written by French missionary F. M. Savina from the Paris Foreign Mission Society. Published in 1924, this book was based on Savina's extensive experience living with Hmong communities in northern Vietnam and Laos. Later, many historians agreed that the Hmong people likely originated in Europe in ancient times before migrating to Siberia and eventually settling in the Yellow River basin of China several thousand years ago. Hmong folklore contains stories that describe their ancestors living in a land covered in snow and ice, with days and nights lasting for months at a time. Since the Hmong people who migrated to Southeast Asia had never seen snow, their vocabulary used terms like hard water and fine white sand to describe it. The Hmong people's history became intertwined with China around 3000 BCE to 1200 BCE. Around 2700 BCE, migrants from Siberia moved southward into Manchuria, Hebei, and eventually the upper reaches of the Yellow River in Hunan. At the time, the region was already home to the Hua Yangshao tribe, which had lived there for over 1,000 years. The Hua Yangshao were a mountain-dwelling tribe specializing in slash-and-burn agriculture, while another group, the Hua Lungshan, cultivated rice paddies in Shandong. According to many Chinese legends, the Miao were once a dominant force in prehistoric China. This inevitably led to conflicts with other emerging powers. The Chinese recount that around 2697 BCE, a leader named Huangdi, Huanyuan, unified various Hua tribes and launched a campaign to defeat Qiyu, the leader of the Miao people, in order to control the Yellow River basin. After emerging victorious, Huangdi declared himself the first emperor of China, ushering in the era of the Five Emperors, which coincided with the legendary Hongbang dynasty in Vietnamese history. It is said that during Huangdi's reign, the Chinese developed boats, carts, bows and arrows, stone farming tools, wooden and ceramic household items, large-scale buildings, and a 12-zodiac calendar based on a 60-year cycle for agricultural planning. For centuries, the Hmong lived in remote mountainous regions, allowing them to preserve their unique culture despite external influences. Their independent spirit often led to conflicts with Chinese authorities, particularly during the Ming and Qing dynasties. These conflicts, especially during the 18th and 19th centuries, played a significant role in the Hmong people's eventual migration to Southeast Asia, as they sought refuge from increasing persecution. Hmong society is built on a clan system, where each clan serves as a fundamental social and familial network. There are approximately 18 major Hmong clans, each identifiable by its distinct surname. One of the most sacred aspects of Hmong culture is the Keej, a traditional reed instrument believed to guide souls to the afterlife during funeral rites. The Keej is one of the most iconic instruments in Hmong culture, with its deep, haunting melodies carrying significant spiritual meaning. Centuries of oppression forced the Hmong to migrate to remote mountainous areas in Southeast Asia. The Chinese often viewed the Hmong as rebels because they refused to fully assimilate into Han culture and frequently resisted Chinese rule. Over time, this led to harsh government measures, including forced labor, land seizures, and military campaigns aimed at suppressing the Hmong population. These struggles intensified due to cultural differences and the Hmong people's strong desire to maintain their autonomy over their lands and traditions. By the 18th and 19th centuries, many Hmong began migrating southward into the mountains of Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, and Myanmar to escape these conflicts. The migration was often perilous, requiring the Hmong to traverse difficult terrains and establish settlements in unfamiliar environments. However, they found relative freedom in these new regions, where they could continue practicing their agricultural and cultural traditions without direct interference. The Hmong people are highly skilled in slash-and-burn farming, allowing them to survive in rugged landscapes. Traditionally, they were self-sufficient farmers who lived in remote mountain regions, using agricultural techniques that suited their environment. They practiced shifting cultivation, clearing small forested areas to grow crops like rice, corn, and vegetables. Although labor-intensive, this method enabled the Hmong to sustain their families in areas where conventional farming was not feasible due to steep slopes and poor soil quality. In addition to farming, the Hmong raised livestock such as pigs, chickens, and cattle, which played crucial roles in both their diet and cultural practices. The mountainous landscapes of Laos, Thailand, and Vietnam were ideal for their semi-nomadic agricultural lifestyle, which required a deep understanding of nature and seasonal cycles. During the Vietnam War, 1955 to 1975, many Hmong in Laos were recruited by the CIA to fight against North Vietnamese and Pathet Lao forces. Under the leadership of General Vang Pao, the Hmong played a crucial role in U.S. military strategy in Laos. However, when the war ended in 1975, the new communist government in Laos launched brutal retaliations against Mung who had allied with the U.S. This triggered a mass exodus, with tens of thousands of Hmong fleeing to refugee camps in Thailand. From these camps, many Hmong were eventually resettled in the United States as refugees in the late 1970s and early 1980s. They settled primarily in states like California, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and North Carolina, where they gradually adapted to their new lives. Beyond the U.S., large numbers of Hmong were also resettled in France, Australia, Canada, and other European countries. In these nations, Hmong communities have worked to preserve their cultural heritage while integrating into local societies. The migration of the Hmong people has been a long and arduous journey, yet it is a testament to their resilience and deep connection to their traditions. No matter where they are in the world, the Hmong continue to maintain their cultural identity and thrive in the face of globalization.